Have you ever wondered about the unsung heroes of the Bible? We often hear about the great men, prophets, kings, and disciples. But what about the women? The Bible is filled with incredible stories of women whose faith, courage, and obedience didn't just shape their own lives, but changed the course of history forever. Today, we are going to dive into the stories of a few of these remarkable women and see how their unwavering trust in God left an impact that we can still feel thousands of years later. Let's start with Esther, an orphan Jewish girl who became a queen. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? But her story is so much more. When a wicked plan was hatched to annihilate her people, Esther was in a unique position to intervene, but it wasn't easy. Approaching the king without being summoned was punishable by death. Her cousin Mordecai reminded her, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" With immense courage, she fasted, prayed, and then risked her life. Her bravery saved an entire nation from destruction. Esther's story teaches us that God can place us in specific situations, no matter how intimidating, to fulfill His purpose. Next, let's talk about Rahab. She wasn't a queen or a prophetess. In fact, she lived in the fortified city of Jericho and was known as a harlot. When two Israelite spies came to her city, she recognized that their God was the one true God. Instead of turning them in, she hid them and helped them escape, making a deal to save her family when the city fell. It was an act of profound faith in a God she barely knew. Because of her choice, not only was her family saved, but she was grafted into the lineage of Israel and, incredibly, became an ancestor of Jesus Christ Himself. Rahab shows us that our past doesn't define our future with God. Faith can rewrite our story. Now, consider Mary, the mother of Jesus. A young, humble girl from a small town, chosen for the most monumental task in human history. When the angel Gabriel appeared to her, his message was world-altering and, frankly, terrifying. She would conceive a child by the Holy Spirit. In a culture where this would bring shame and even danger, her response was one of pure faith. "I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled." Her quiet surrender and trust allowed God's ultimate plan of salvation to unfold. Mary's story is a powerful testament to how a simple yes to God can change everything. And we can't forget Mary Magdalene. Often misunderstood, she was one of Jesus' most devoted followers. He had healed her from severe spiritual affliction, and from that moment on, she dedicated her life to supporting His ministry. She was there at the cross when many others had fled, and her faithfulness was rewarded in an extraordinary way. She was the very first person to see the risen Christ, the one who was sent to tell the disciples the good news. "I have seen the Lord." She became the first evangelist, the apostle to the apostles. From Esther's courage to Rahab's unexpected faith, from Mary's humble obedience to Mary Magdalene's unwavering devotion, these women are more than just characters in a book. They are pillars of faith. Their stories remind us that God uses ordinary people in extraordinary ways. He sees our potential, regardless of our background, our past, or our position in society. Their legacy challenges us today. How will we respond when God calls us? Will we step out in faith, trusting that He has a purpose for us, for such a time as this? Thank you so much for joining me today. If these stories inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that dives deep into the heart of faith. See you in the next video.